The lake was always still at night. No wind rippled its surface. No birds broke the eerie silence. But tonight, it was quieter than usual, and that silence carried a weight that made Clara's skin prickle. She hadn't wanted to return to her grandparents' cabin. It held too many painful memories of summers spent with her brother Liam, who had drowned in that very lake 2 years ago. Yet here she was, drawn back by a letter written in Liam's handwriting, delivered to her apartment 2 weeks ago. "Come back, Clara. It's not over." The cabin smelled of mildew and old wood. She stood in the living room, clutching the letter. The lake outside the window gleamed under the moonlight, a perfect glassy surface that seemed to beckon her. She remembered the last time she'd seen Liam, his laughter echoing as they raced to the dock. Then the scream. His scream. She turned to see his hand reaching out of the water, fingers clawing for help. And then he was gone. A shiver ran down her spine. She stepped outside, the cool night air pressing against her. Her feet crunched along the gravel path leading to the dock. The lake was calm, its dark water reflecting the sky like a mirror. She reached the end of the dock, staring down at her own warped reflection. For a moment, she thought she saw Liam's face staring back, pale and lifeless. She gasped, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared. "Clara." The voice came from behind her, soft and familiar. Her heart leapt as she spun around, expecting to see Liam. Instead, there was nothing. Her pulse thundered in her ears as the voice came again, this time from beneath the dock. "Clara, come closer." She knelt, peering through the gaps between the wooden planks. The water rippled, and something moved, something dark and shapeless. Her breath caught in her throat. "Help me," the voice whispered, now tinged with desperation. It sounded like Liam. Her hand hesitated over the edge. "Liam?" A pale hand shot out of the water, grabbing her wrist with icy fingers. She screamed and yanked back, but the grip was unyielding. The water erupted as a figure emerged, a grotesque mockery of her brother. Its skin was bloated and gray, its eyes hollow sockets that leaked black ichor. "You left me," it hissed, dragging her closer. "No!" she cried, struggling to free herself. The dock groaned under their weight as the creature pulled her toward the edge. Her foot slipped and she fell into the freezing water. The lake enveloped her, its icy grip stealing her breath. She flailed, desperate to find the surface, but the water seemed endless. Shadows swirled around her, growing darker and thicker until they formed shapes, faces, arms, clawed hands reaching for her. "Stay with us," they whispered, their voices a cacophony of agony. She kicked hard, breaking free of the hands, and burst through the surface. Gasping for air, she clung to the dock and hauled herself out. The lake churned violently behind her, and the shadows rose, towering above the water like a living wave. She stumbled backward as the shadows formed into a towering figure, a nightmarish amalgamation of faces and limbs. Its voice boomed, deep and resonant. "You cannot escape us, Clara. You belong to the lake now." Tears streamed down her face as she screamed, "Why? What do you want from me?" The figure's many faces twisted into grotesque grins. "You brought him here. Now you must take his place." She turned and ran, her legs heavy and trembling. The cabin was her only hope. Bursting through the door, she slammed it shut and bolted the lock. The shadows loomed outside, pressing against the windows. The walls groaned, and the floor vibrated as if the entire structure was alive and struggling. In the center of the room, the letter lay on the floor, glowing faintly. Desperation clawed at her. She grabbed the paper and held it up to the light. Scrawled beneath Liam's original message was new writing, jagged and erratic. "Destroy it. Burn the letter." Her hands trembled as she reached for the fireplace. She struck a match and held it to the letter. The paper caught quickly, flames curling the edges. The shadows howled, a deafening wail that rattled the windows. The cabin shook violently and Clara fell to the floor, shielding her face. When the flames consumed the letter completely, the noise stopped. The cabin was still. She opened her eyes. The shadows were gone, and the lake outside was calm once more. Exhausted, she collapsed onto the floor, tears of relief streaming down her face. But as her breathing slowed, she noticed something on her wrist, a faint, hand-shaped bruise, cold to the touch. From the lake, a single ripple spread across its surface, as though something had just slipped beneath it, waiting.